Hello and welcome to the Synergy Sanctum. This is our series focused on positive life coaching lessons with Squee the Immortal, where we aim to provide everyone with awareness and coaching that is focused on identifying your goals and your values, ensuring that the steps you take on your own adventure are aligned with that return on time that you are seeking, and sharing countless strategies focused on positive mindsets, resilience, and flourishing as a person each and every day. Let's get into today's episode. I want to introduce this concept that has been validated as a very solid goal-setting model after 20 years of research, and it's something that was created by Gabriele Oettingen. I'll reference the link in the description, but Gabriele came up with this idea called WOOP. And WOOP is a science-based mental strategy that any individual can use to find and fulfill whatever goals you have or whatever tasks you have or whatever wishes you have, and then also be able to understand what is going to prevent it from being accomplished, right? So going on the same vein of this purpose that we're achieving and these internal strengths that we have as people, now I have a tool that I could utilize that's going to help me achieve this. So a lot of the times when you're thinking about goal setting and you're thinking about these things about how you're going to achieve these larger efforts that you have for yourself, most of the time what your mind does is it thinks about what you want to do. So I want to buy a new car, let's say. So I want to buy a new car, and then where does your mind go? Where did your mind just go if this was a goal for you? It immediately went to all of the obstacles, right? So into all of the obstacles that you have for the goal. Or I want to get promoted at work. Again, your mind, as a person, you immediately go to the negative. You go to like all of the obstacles or things that are going to prevent you from being able to achieve this goal that you have. Now, most people stop there and then the goals don't happen, right? So they sit there and even if they have this intent and this desire and this want for it to happen, they're prevented from doing so because they are just thinking about all the obstacles. They're thinking about all the things that are going to prevent this from happening, and they're not thinking about how to overcome those obstacles. So WOOP stands for wish, outcome, obstacle, and a plan. So the difference with this strategy and why it works for so many people is because when you think about the obstacles, now you immediately think about like the best outcome that you can achieve. And then you have a plan for if X obstacle happens, this is what I'm going to focus on. So now when you're pursuing your goal, your brain starts to train itself and think, okay, I want to buy a car. Yes, it's still going to bring up the obstacles, or maybe they're in the background now, but your mind is like, I want to buy a car. This is the outcome, and this is what I have to do now to achieve this plan. So your wish is, what do you want today in life or whatever? And WOOP doesn't have to be a single thing. You could have multiple WOOPs happening at once. You then think about the outcome. So what is the best case scenario that you're hoping for? What is the thing that you hope gets achieved out of all of this effort? And then you're going to think about the obstacle. And it helps if the obstacle is something internal, right? So if I decide I want to start exercising and having better health, and then I put an obstacle of time, right? That's something that's like external. I put an obstacle of like food or something that's external, where the real obstacle is my own mental like fortitude to do this, or my commitment to do this, or maybe it's my laziness, or maybe it's like my thoughts of dread or whatever, right? So it's very important to focus on an obstacle that is internal, because then you're overcoming something that is within you, right? And you're building a better habit out of this so that when you have goals in the future, you don't run into that internal obstacle anymore, because it's no longer an obstacle. You've already achieved this. And then the final stage of this is plan. So plan is one of the most important pieces of this, because it's an if-then statement. So if X obstacle happens, then my plan is I'll do Y. I'll do some specific action that will help me overcome this obstacle. So if I have a goal of buying a car, and the obstacle is going to be how much time and energy I have as a person to achieve this, to create the money, or how much I like overspend, let's say I'm not good at saving, right? I overspend, then I need a plan that is something like, if I want to buy something, then I will assess whether or not I truly need this because I want to buy a car eventually. So is what I'm about to buy a better return than eventually getting a car? And then as I continue to practice this and I keep it top of mind, it helps me start to save better. So this WOOP process is a guide for individuals. So whoever you are, it's a process to enhance your goal achievement, because by imagining that positive outcome of whatever you're trying to do and the potential obstacles, your motivation now changes into something greater. So you can now create a plan that has a higher chance of success and has awareness about what is going to break that plan and the obstacles that exist there, so that you have options to overcome them and still be successful.